He can talk.
For real?
For a long
So listen.
For real long time.
For real. So Pastor Danny Gibbons Jr., man, in 5 years, my goodness. Honestly, in 5 years, I will be 39 years old. One of my goals that I've always said I was going to do is by the time I reach 40, I'll have my doctoral degree. Just recently graduated with my college degree, my second college degree in Christian ministry. Have been successful now. My wife and I are the senior pastors of Above Every Name Ministries.
That's what's up.
In 5 years, as my brother said, the Speakers Bureau will be up and jumping with the brothers. It will be a national motto for brothers coming home from prison. I truly believe in that. I hear you, Vez, that I won't be known for the bread, but I'm gonna tell you, anything in life you gotta have some finances to do it. So in 5 years, I also will be a millionaire. I'm claiming it for real.
All right, Crep will be.
And
I'm gonna come and ask you for a few.
the next thing that I'm working on right now that
I need some money on my EBT card.
I've gotten in the mix is my memoir. I'm working on my memoir because in order to leave a legacy, yes, we gotta have audio footage, video footage, and the things that we share oratorily, but also having something that can go in the library and be there and be planted. And my vision for this, I call this gathering that we've been doing now. This is I think like the third one that we've done now. Is the brethren, and I believe that according to the word, it says in Psalm 133, verse 1, it says, when the brethren dwell together in unity, this is where God said that He will command a blessing. And when you think about God commanding a blessing, this isn't something where He's saying, hey, I'm going to ask or I'm going to think about it. I'm commanding it, and when God commands something, it has to happen. And so we already have witnessed and seen the blessing interdenominationally, interculturally, interfaith, all of this, and seeing, even brothers coming together from whether you're Islamic or you're Christian or you don't subscribe to anything or you're not from the U.S., but having this environment to come together and fuel one another, empower one another, encourage one another, that's truly where it's at. I too am married now. I have successfully been married for 3 years. I've been home now for 3 years from prison.
That's right.
I love my wife. I say it to the world. I love my wife, Queen. I love you. For real. I'm serious about it because it's a blessing to be able to stand and say that I'm a man of covenant relationship. That's truly a blessing, and I'm thankful for it, man, because it's about this, and like my brother Snoop said, it's about all of us coming together and assisting one another and going to where we gotta go. T.E. Lawrence had said this quote. He said, freedom is not the absence of chains, but the choice of which ones you'll wear. And when you think about it, all of us have to lock into something. We gotta connect to something. Paul said, I'm a prisoner of Christ. And we know that others have been, have chained themselves to change. And I think about Brother Pharu that says, the chain break theory. The chains have been broken over our lives of wearing these penitentiary clothes and having this stuff on our soul, or buying into the lies, saying I'm going to be a dope boy, I'm going to trap till I die, I'm going to be a pimp, I'm a hustler. But now saying, hey, I'm going to chain myself to change and impact and change in my environment on a day-to-day basis. That's the movement. That's what we doing. So I'm thankful, man. You can go ahead and
that's right.
pass on to the champ, man.
That's right.
That's
Champ is here. Champ.
The author of this all.
Exactly. Well, I'm like I said earlier, right? This gathering that we having, right? Now, I use the analogy of the Bilderberg group, and I heard the brother said the brethren before, that's beautiful, right? I also talked about how all of us, came from different paths. Shay, talked about it too, and we're all, in this circle or supportive of each other. But for me, always have to say, like the brother said earlier, God willing, right? God willing, this is where my life will be in 5 years, right? And God willing, my life will be in 5 years, right? As simplistic as whatever God wants my life to be like in 5 years. The things that I want to do when I put forth efforts is, I think there's 3 phases of life, right? I think there's surviving, maintaining, and living, right? I think when you're just surviving, you you just worried about the fundamentals of life, where you're gonna get some water from, the shelter from, some food from, you know. And then inside of that, there's different degrees. But then you got maintaining, where you're not really worried about where you're gonna get the food from, or where you're gonna get the, the water from, or the shelter. You know, you're thinking about how to, to get over that hump and enjoy life. Man, maintaining, you just actually maintaining the survival aspect. You master survival, but now you're maintaining and trying to grow, like the brother O'Shea said. You know what I mean? Growing is very good. 5 years, God willing, I would be able to find or have Allah bring in my life a wife that captivates my mind and captivates my soul enough so I can, streamline all the unwanted desires, right? Wife is what I need. That we taught in Islam that a wife is half the religion. Well, I talked about having imperfections earlier, and in my first 2 years of being out of prison, I haven't mastered that, and so in the next coming 5 years from today, I think if you say something out loud, you got to stand on it. You got to do your best to actually make that happen, to accomplish that. So I like to talk, right? Even if I'm talking about nothing, sometimes I like to talk, right?
Preach.
And when I talk about something as far as what I'm gonna do or what I want to do, God willing, I gotta actually fight, scratch, and struggle my way towards that, right? And so I'm saying I want to maintain my current employment, right? Because it's giving me an opportunity to financially stabilize my life. I want to continue maintaining that. But on the other side of that, to supplement that maintaining, so I can be able to live one day, I want to actually in January have my own screen printing equipment and my own brick and mortar building, so I can get walk up and coming up customers, right? I do a lot of marketing, a lot of networking, a lot of word of mouth. It's been good, but I actually want that building myself, right? I want the marquee on the outside, of course, to say the chain break theory, screen printing and everything else, right? If in all of this premised by if God said so, if God willing, right? And also I like the fact that about the speaking around the world, getting together and the Speakers Bureau. But I think every day, no matter where we are, right, we are complete examples. We have to maintain that. No matter, we have to better our character in everywhere. If you see something happen, don't walk past it. If you see a brother, sagging his pants, don't just say, "Oh, these young cats, man, they ain't gonna listen." Say something, right? And, if you see some injustice happening, right? If you can't physically change it, right? Say something about it. Right. If you feel fearful of your life to say something about it, then at least, at the most part, right? Make sure you hate it in your heart, But
I thought you was gonna say call the police.
Well, that's what I would say.
Yeah, well,
you call the police too. You got to
call the police and
sometimes
let the police come. That's their job to protect the public.
Yes, sir. But
we pay them for them to protect us.
Yes, sir.
So now we're just telling this man the same thing. If a woman gets into your car and she refuses to leave, call the police.
Tell them again, Dad.
Because if you drag her out of the car, guess what? You're gonna be the villain because you're stronger than the woman.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Right now, if someone busted my car, hey, the insurance is going to pay for it, but I'll call the police. I'm not going to kick its ass. I can't even kick its ass.
Yeah.
If I had a gun, I wouldn't even shoot it because the car is not worth it.
Right. But
that's the deal.
I might have been a little.
No, I know you're a little passionate there. Yeah.
No, I might have been a little bit misunderstood.
No, that's what's up. I feel you.
What I really mean is that if you see an injustice happening, right? If you see, a man beating up a woman, right? Of course, you can call the police, but but they take some time before they get there. But I'm just
in
trying.
In that case, yeah, you want to kind of like.
Yeah, and if you can't physically break it up, right? then at least speak out against it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're fearful that if you say something that they may turn a negative attention on you,
Pray about it.
right? Then yeah, pray about it and just at least hate it in your heart. I don't mean, you know what I mean, if you see something happening, go beat somebody up. You know what I mean? But I do agree. You know what I mean? I feel you. But
That'll get you a case. I just had to beat one.
yeah, that would be get you a case, right? Yeah, I mean it would. But seriously, you know, I wanted to add. I said off the record earlier, man, that and you added it too, and it happen to me and probably a lot of other brothers. There's a lot of brothers in this room that I've learned from. You know, I've learned from. I was at Denny's this morning. I was downtown last night, but I was at Denny's this morning, and I seen a brother that was on inside, right? And he remembered me. I remembered his face too, though, right? But a young brother, he came up to me, and this has happened to me a couple times. And I know I'm getting long-winded, but there's a point. Is that he came up to me and was like, you mean, you know, what's up, man? What's up, Pharu, right? You know what I mean, man? I'm glad to see you, and you know what I mean, and you helped me while I was in the joint, right? Wow, you know. I'm at Denny's. I ain't, you know what I mean? You know, and that's a beautiful feeling. Now, lastly, and I'm done.
Sure.
No, but lastly, you want people that when you leave the room, they hate that you're gone. You don't want people when you leave the room, they're glad you're gone. You want people when they see you after so many years, right, embrace you.
Happy to see you.
And happy to see you, right? You don't want people after so many years when they see you walk the other way. Right? You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
You know, it's a beautiful feeling, man, to be just amongst a lot of brothers with love. You know what I mean? And who I got respect for every last one of you brothers. You know, and you know, and I pray to God that y'all have respect for me as well. I'm glad to be a part of whatever circle that we talking in. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You know,
That's
so that's
what's
it, man. 5 years from now, I'm gonna be doing the same thing, God willing.
All right.